All right, so the Russian economy has placed in the top five, and this is by World Bank statistical analysis. So this this is good. Uh, it has supplanted the British, the German, and French economy, and so that puts a lie to the utter nonsense of Russia is going to collapse economically and so on and so forth. So and understand. So World Bank is not a Russian outfit or a Chinese outfit or any other outfit except for being a U.S. and European uh, outfit. As a matter of fact, the World Bank is in. I think it's in. I think it's in New York or Washington. One of those two locations. Uh, so understand that this whole we're going to turn the Russian ruble into rubble, and Russia's economy is going to collapse, and the people of Russia are going to turn on their government system and so on and so forth is a load of crap. So this isn't Russian claiming that it's in the top five economies in the world, global economies in the world. This is the World Bank. And if you know anything about the World Bank and the IMF, you understand uh, that they are controlled largely by the U.S., but principally the collective West uh, has major overriding influence in what the World Bank and the IMF do. And and if you're like me, you know that the U.S. and the Europeans, especially the U.S., is a harmful uh, predatory uh, element in the world. Uh, all they do is destabilize. All they do is create chaos, and whether through their so-called sanctions uh, and and their invasions and their color revolutions and their engineered engineering of coups, which take out political and other political, social, and other leaders who are true patriots with help from those so-called governments around the world that are largely in the global South, who, like, if you're speaking in Latin America, it's mostly these Western descendant parasites uh, who have retained uh, economic, political, and other sort of power, which is often assisted by the United States and the Europeans. And they're the true autocrats and dictators who get their marching orders from the U.S. And so on and so forth. So uh, understand this is a world changing accomplishment by Russia. Of course, a lot of this is because of the complete and utter ineptitude, uh, the sheer criminal felony corruption and utter stupidity that's generated by the greed of the so-called leadership of the West, and that is what has helped to generate what's taking place of Russia overtaking several of the G7. And furthermore, statistical data is insinuating that Japan, which is a major economy, also part of the G7, will be supplanted by the Russian economy, which makes sense because the Russians have over, I believe they have like 150 or 150 million, if not more or slightly less. So, and in combination with China and basically, that just goes to show. And China, in the metric of GDP, which is PPP, which is purchasing power parity, China actually is already the number one economy. Never mind that it's the world's manufacturing hub, and they've branched out into logistics, meaning how goods commodities, and all that other is moved around. They're increasing strength in management of ports around the world. Their infrastructure projects through the BRI in places like Africa, in South America, and Central America, in Southeast Asia, and so on and so forth. So basically, the global South, the yuan, which is starting to take a larger role. So the yuan is also called the RMB or the renminbi, and they're starting to take a larger role in the reserve currency holdings, especially in the global South, which is basically all the areas that colonialism and neocolonialism still exist. So this is a sea change, and the economic strength of the United States is largely done with metrics which don't actually apply to the real economy, which doesn't apply for what's actually taking place in the real world, how it serves the public. Hey, Bentley, leave it. In the metric of yeah, so I had to go chase my dog down. So anyways, the metric of real impacts, such as the stabilizing of food and energy and housing and all that other stuff, all of that, which is not happening, where the cost keeps going up and up and up. Wages aren't keeping up with the inflation of the cost to the everyday Americans. So you got the healthcare costs, you got the cost for transportation, all that other stuff. The the infrastructure, which is falling apart, and not expanding the infrastructure, which means that basically means the logistics part. So then there is the basically continuous continuous fall of manufacturing, the cost that manufacturing in the United States, that which keeps going up and up and up. Uh, so there's a lot of very very skewed metrics which are being used, and so basically the stated GDP strength, economic strength, is full of nonsense that only help the banksters, meaning fraudsters, the big multinational corporate criminals. A lot of it that also lies in the Wall Street. Uh, the Wall Street area, where there's a lot of speculation, which is basically uh, gambling and betting, which often has disastrous effects, and the cost goes down to the everyday Americans. The alarming way that the middle class is being hollowed out, and these sort of stuff. So the U.S. Cherry picks the criminals in the U.S. that hold political and official standings. The way they cherry pick things. A national debt, which has grown from which has grown grown from 29.7 trillion. I think that was back in 2019 or 2020, or even earlier, like 2018. Now it's in 2023. It's 32.7 trillion. And that was from just 2022 to 2023, where it went from 31 point something trillion to 32.7 trillion. And we got the spending for the so-called defense spending, which is now currently sitting around 900 billion, and that's not including the other hundreds of billions that's not declared, and that's in these shadow spending, and so on and so forth. And basically, the United States keeps borrowing and borrowing, being the biggest deficit country in the world, to the point that Fitch has downgraded the U.S. economy from AAA plus to AA plus. And then there's the confusion, of, even though the U.S. economy has been downgraded, somehow they cook the books to make it look like that it's actually the economy is performing better when But that's again, it's cherry picking and using these metrics and tactics that if you will go by established laws that are still on the books, you would say that's fraud, that's criminal fraud and felony. But they won't. But that's how they're just these people are just con artists. They're snake oil salesmen. They're everything that's if you were to do, you would be in jail. You'd be crucified. You'd be the biggest name. Being called a criminal, a heinous, unforgivable criminal. But because you're just an average person, they'll make a big deal out of it. And you'll get the worst possible outcome in sentencing and so on and so forth. But these people will get away, just such as Biden and his reprobate son, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Joe Manchin, for another example. Joe Manchin, who was a large shareholder in Country West and some other so-called mortgage company, that participated in the crime spree that set off the 2008 subprime mortgage scandal, and that guy should have been jailed, but he served on Trump's administration. You have Pompeo, who should have been put in jail. Who famously said on video, the CIA taught us to lie, cheat, and steal, and of course, there's far more to it than that. And then you have the admissions from Biden himself, talking about how he's wanted to do away with much of the Social Security, not once, not twice, but several, not 3 times, more than that. Then it's 3 strikes you're out. Starting the whole the prison complex and that put away people for having an ounce of marijuana, and his son is doing crack cocaine on video, and there's a lot of indication that he was going after underage girls, also on video. Never mind the whole felony criminal activity involving Ukraine and Burisma, and Joe Biden has a friggin' ballroom, a literal ballroom. So this guy's been in politics for 50 years, and all he's done is all he has been is a criminal. Trump and his family, even before Trump went into politics, they were criminals. They were criminals. What's his name? The mayor of Giuliano, the mayor of New York. This guy had connections with literal mafia and connections to the Trump family. And Trump family have literal connections to organized crime and mafia. It just goes on and on and on. So this is not a Republican or Democrat thing. They're both corrupt. They're both criminal outfits. So understand that whatever they say, when they say China is our uh, China is the enemy, Russia's the enemy, Venezuela is the enemy, Iran is the enemy, and so on and so forth. It's pure projection. Everything they say, uh, you know, uh, it's democracy versus autocracy. It's a projection. The U.S. is an autocracy, and China is by every objective, real world statistical data, and following through with what they word in policy and what they say, uh, they follow through on. This whole nonsense of China is the biggest contributor to climate change and so on and so forth, and pointing the finger at China. And the thing is that the per capita, China has more than 1.4 billion people, and per capita, meaning per person, they put out less carbon than the average American. And so you look at that data, then you look at the data on who is currently the largest contributor to renewable energy, and so on and so forth. Again, you got China. China keeps outpacing what they set, the goals that they set for renewable energy, for climate targets in China, uh, and so on and so forth. And those climate targets actually go beyond the Paris climate summit goals, uh, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of metrics that China is a leader in renewable energy. They can still do more, and they still are doing more, and they don't. And personally, I think they should using their population size to create the system that I talked about in my older videos, where you basically have these modified septic systems that draw out the methane, and they can use the population size, and they could build up these substations that collect and redistribute methane slash natural gas, rather than buying natural gas that has to be extracted through drilling. They could lessen the impacts by using the methane natural gas produced from their more than 1.4 billion people. They could add to that. They could add that to their the energy production that they do, and also lessen the environmental and climatic impacts of drilling, of buying for drilled natural gas slash methane. So the whole point of this is that what you hear from those who are projecting, those who are purposely putting out misinformation and disinformation, those who are helping to create the divide and conquer and basically feed ignorance and stupidity, and helping to brainwash. That's basically what it comes down to. Because Russia's economy reaching the top five, tells you the truth of the real world matters, real world factors. So this is this is this should be an eye opener for people, and them saying, I think I'm going to have to really pay attention to dig into this, get informed, because it certainly isn't. They saw all these sanctions that they place on Russia to destroy the economy and destabilize the country. Certainly hasn't affected Russia. And as a matter of fact, the purchasing power parity per capita in Russia is actually growing. So the Chinese purchasing power parity and the CPI is growing. China has more middle income families than the United States and Western Europe. That's massive. That is massive. I mean, we're talking about the entire population of the United States. As a matter of fact, actually, all of North America and the Western Europe. That's incredible. So there's 330 million, I believe, which is down from 350 million in the U.S. And so there's 330 million people in the United States, and there's probably somewhere, all of the Western countries, all of the Western European countries put together, don't make up the size of the United States population alone. Never mind China's. And so, China. So, you can even add in Australia. So, we're talking a middle class that's far outstrips the U.S. And many of the Western countries. And Russia has 150 or a little bit under or more. So, and their Western and the Russian middle class is going up. So that's just another indicator. So understand, your so-called governments and your social media influencers that talk about how great your country is, and how and all they do is spout the narratives, whether because of based on misinformation and disinformation, or purposely putting out the misinformation and disinformation. Ben Shapiro, he gets a shitload of money from friggin' these wealthy criminals, to spout utter nonsense. And that's just one of the social media, so-called social media influencers. YouTube promotes a lot of those assholes, and they spout a lot of bullshit. Tim Pool, and so on and so forth. And then you have and they could be either called liberals or right wingers, or all these stupid labels, but they all universally put out the same shit. Then you have the ones from Kyle Kalinske and all those. They do the same thing. The Young Turks, they do the same thing. And I understand. I have said Kyle Kalinske and the Young Turks and all these were good places. But you know what? I learned I learned, and I start to see through the smoke screen. So they're not good. You know, who's that? Who's that fraudulent bitch that Carl Kalinsky is currently married to, and is some show called Breaking Points, I think. You know, she's another one. They're all fucking trolls. These foul people who say shit. You know, the same ones that talked about how bad Biden is. But then when it came to and they spoke about how bad Biden was, and then when it came to a choice between Biden and Trump, suddenly, no, go we will go with Biden because he's the lesser of two evils. The shitheads that push that stupidity, just like Noam Chomsky. He's got all this cred, but the thing is every single time he uses that whole lesser of two evils bullshit. And the thing is there is no such thing as lesser of two evils. Evil is evil. Period. AOC, she's an evil bitch. Rashida Tlaib, evil bitch. Bernie Sanders, he's an evil bastard. Because they know, because they've talked about it. They've articulated, yet like Bernie. Clinton. He basically talked about it, and if you read between the lines, he was basically saying, without actually saying it, that Hillary Clinton is an evil bitch. That Biden is an evil bastard. But he kept on saying, but he put this thing in, Biden, my good friend, Biden, my good friend, and so this is the cognitive dissonance that plays out, and the only reason that they would do that is because they know the horrible impacts that happened. Like with AOC and the so-called squad progressives. They talked about all the nasty, horrible shit that Pelosi and all these other fucking scum-sucking pigs, criminals, did. Yet then it's Mama Bear and voting for Pelosi, to be the head shithead in the congressional halls. So this is all a fucking game. Look at what they actually do. The reason why I approve of China is because I look at what they do in the real world, right? So when they say something, I've noticed this about the Chinese. Understand, I'm not Chinese. I was born in South Korea. All right, I've lived in the United States since I was 7.5 years old. You can tell by the way I articulate, how I speak, and so on and so forth. So, I look at what the Chinese actually say and do, and what they say and what they do is what actually happens. What the U.S. And the Europeans and these NAFO trolls and all these other fuckfaces in the media and these so-called social leaders on the social media and the so-called independent thinkers and they're just a bunch of fuckfaces. Who use it to basically bilk you out of money, to have you think in ways that are that do nothing for you. If anything, make things worse, and allow the criminality from the from these so-called business leaders and political leaders and social leaders and these fucking places that call themselves think tanks and so on and so forth to fuck you over, and that's how it works. And people need to wise up to this. I'm certainly not. I'm certainly not selling you. Trying to sell you a bill of goods that I know is going to fuck you over. Because I certainly, I'm not. I don't have an account on with YouTube to some sort of agreement with YouTube to for ad revenues and all of the stuff. I put out information about how, like the modified septic system to draw out the methane, or the gravity gravity using water elevated tank to use gravity to turn some something that turns an electromagnetic generator to create power, create electricity, or the the water systems that can be used to using the gravity and other ways to so you don't have to use electricity to make sure that there's water circulation. So when you turn on your tap, the water comes out. Not only that, but the water continuously moves around your house and within your pipes, so that you can, because moving water prevents sediment and other stuff from staying there, and while you can do that, you can do filtration. That's continuously filtering your water, so that it's not just when you turn on the tap it starts filtering, and so on and so forth. So I've put out a lot of this sort of information, as well as many other things. So I say I'm not looking to make money. I'm looking to give you information to use, to make things better for you, and so on and so forth. So, and if you don't believe me, you can go back and look at my videos. So understand, I'm, in the true sense of the word, a true patriot. And my patriotism says I need to look out for my fellow Americans, and I don't put disclaimers like if you're born in the United States, or you have a passport, or I don't care. Anybody who lives in the United States. I don't care if you're middle class. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal or whatnot. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about your skin color. I think of things as a collective, and I also include the natural ecosphere, the biosphere, because that's important. And so I think of ways to make our ecosphere and biosphere better for us. At the same time, it's going to enhance and contribute to us collectively. So understand, we need a revolution in this country, and that revolution needs to be forcefully militant. We need to make these criminals fear the consequences against us collectively, and and make sure they understand that there are no-go zones, and that is doing things that are negative, that have negative impacts on us collectively, and that this divide and conquer bullshit is not allowed, and so on and so forth. This is an imperative for us. So, you know, think about it. Talk with each other about it. Point out these inconsistencies, these contradictions of what we're supposed to be as an American, as part of the human community in the world, and so we can determine who are the malefactors, the ones doing the malfeasance, the ones who are parroting the malfeasance. So, and as a collective, as a community, as a people, we should be looking to eliminate these malfeasance, these malfactors, these inconsistencies and contradictions. And we should be coming together. We should be informing each other. And we should be correcting each other. We should have a conversation. And the thing is, as I say in my other video, I am not one of these free speech idiots, or these people say, non-violent protest nonsense. Go back and listen to what I have to say about free speech and non-violence. We should have factual, real speech, not this. I think this nonsense about it's like this racial nonsense, this bigoted nonsense, this way of wording things that a lot of people seem to excuse. Like when Tucker Carlson says something, he may say some stuff that are actually based on reality, but then he throws that objective real facts with this subjective ethnic and racial and other bullshit. This is why I don't because Tucker is very good at that game. And I don't care, I don't care what Jimmy Dore and all these other people say. It's like, just because he points out something, you forget all the nasty shit he's said and done that have moved people towards the more violent spectrum of things. So I'm not one of those free speech warrior idiots, and I don't care. I think Jimmy's wrong with that on that fact, and those idiots at Code Pink when they non-violent it's like, and I go through the whole spiel. I'm not a pacifist. So understand. That's who I am, and I'm telling you straight out. So there's no mistaking where I stand, and I try to be consistent. I don't always correct things that I may get wrong on videos because I don't do that. But if you watch the progression of what I say, you can see there. Such as I did do some corrections, like when I talked about Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske and all those. I'm correcting and the youngsters. I'm correcting my mistakes, right? Because I was lulled, not lulled. I was taken. I was taken by their rhetoric, And at the time, yeah, I had not, lost that naivety, that the ease of which to manipulate me. Uh, and so, but I'm correcting it. And as if you watch my videos, you can see that over the years, I grow, I expand, I start to work on losing my naivety, my uh, how I can be deceived. Uh, so, but that's an evolution, and that's what we all need to do. All right, I'm going to end it there.